in the olden days, when there was film canisters and film, we used to use those for small artifacts. And so we always have bags of small artifact containers. In this case, they're pharmaceutical things that have been washed out and have their lids, and we can mark them with the site location on there. So again, we can protect small artifacts, keep them together, keep them with their contents. Because later on, we'll get to wash those artifacts and mark them all with tiny little bits of lettering in pen and ink, which is a lot of fun if you don't have a much more interesting life to have. Small artifact bags. The quest for the perfect artifact bag is a little bit like the quest for the perfect trowel. How many centimeters thick is it? Is it sealable? Does it have a place where you can write the site information and the location of the artifacts that came from that level? So there's always baggies of one sort or another, varying sizes, in every kit. And they can also be used to hold other objects, other tools. Let's see, we have an assortment of mechanical pencils for drawing maps, taking notes. We have a box cutter for cutting string, I suppose, pens for taking notes, erasers, and a piece of chalk, because you never know when you're going to need to write the site's identity and the level on the chalkboard when you're taking a photograph. That goes in your cleaned up level with the brushes and the trowel, with the artifacts, so you know where north is, you know what the artifacts are, you know at what depth they are. So again, it's a lot of redundancy. So it helps when you're an archaeologist if you have a very orderly mind and you're not afraid of doing a lot of cross-checking. It's very particular work. And sometimes that's fun because there can be a rhythm with that. You can just do the things and get into a flow with that. Twine. This is used generally for marking off the locations that you're digging. You want it to be bright yellow because that way you're not tripping over it, because you want those lines to stay as intact as possible. You want them to be visible. You might be measuring from them. So you want to make sure that they maintain the right height above ground. And usually there's matches in the kit because you get this frayed end and you want to, when you've tied it off, you want it to not fray. So you light a match, melt that a little bit so it just doesn't unravel anymore, and make sure you blow it out before you throw it away. Also, letting that cool before you touch it again is good because it's incredibly hot and you'll get a blister. I don't know how I know that. Okay, here we go. Oh, and yet another measuring tape. Can't have too many. I mentioned flagging tape. Again, very bright color, especially in New England if you're working in the fall. Orange is good because it marks out, it's very visible. And if you're wearing bright orange, working in the woods, it indicates that you're not a deer or not a bear during hunting season. So I'm not a deer. Orange is a very popular color with archaeologists. But when it's fall, all the leaves are orange too. So you want to go with your pink colors or your bright blues or something like that. It's constantly a matter of finding the right material to convey, to be the most visible. And okay, oh, yeah. Well, yes, I wish I'd found this earlier, the last pandemic year. Toilet paper can be very useful for packing artifacts, but also for its original purpose. Sometimes you're out in the woods and you need to use the woods. Some people are very keen on making sure it's a carry in, carry out policy. These days, it's nicer because people are more aware of biological necessities. If you're going to have a crew on the field all day and there's no town around, the restaurant to sneak in at noontime, you might have the luxury of a porta potty. Always good to have toilet paper around though. And yes, sanitary supplies. Interesting times being a young woman archaeologist 20 years ago, because you don't really talk about that sort of thing, getting periods and how awkward that can be in the field. But also, if you are the leader of a crew, you want to have somebody on hand anyway, in case you have other people who are menstruating who might need them. So looking out for your crew is terribly important, and that can refer to a lot of things like having Advil or Band-Aids. Oh, speak of the devil. Band-Aids. Oof, these are no longer sterile strips, I think. Yeah, with the tools and the sticks and the rocks and everything that you're going to find, all the nails that you use, there's eventually going to be a mishap, and having some kind of first aid kit is a really, really smart idea. We usually have one for the whole site, but whenever I was running an area survey, I would make sure that I had some just on hand, because having a little bit of antiseptic gel and some Band-Aids can really make a big difference for folks. Keep working. Hi, this is Dana Cameron. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. If you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to hit subscribe and to click on the bell icon so you get notifications. If you'd like to support me as a writer and creator, there are links to my books with information about them below. You can order them from your favorite bookstore or your favorite ebook retailer. Thanks again.